Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Fatmawati, name 1910125120037, roll number 09, class 5B PGSD. Here I will describe the literature on maintaining the existence of the local culture of the archipelago amid the current of globalization through the preservation of the tradition of the Dayak Sintang Gadget. Introduction. Culture play a very important role in human life. We know that human civilization on earth is the result of culture. Then, in modern life today, the original culture of the Indonesian nation is slowly experiencing a shift and value by the influx of globalization that open up borders that opportunity. While, on the other hand, the independence of the nation cannot be separated from its ability to maintain the noble value and culture of its nation. Therefore, the existence of the value of local culture, wisdom of the archipelago as an integrated part of nation culture is net. On the other hand, custom as a noble value owned by indigenous people have begun to show symptoms of their extinction due to lack of preservation from various parties. For example, one of the local traditional of the Dayak tribe in Sintang Regency, namely the activity of Gawai Dayak, which is a condition with value that are the character of the Indonesian nation that need to be maintained. For that, it is our duty as a young generation to be able to preserve the local culture of the tribe in the region so as not to fade. From some of the things that have been described above, the Constitution feel interest in net to improve an understanding of the importance of Nusantara culture in the form of participation as a young generation in the form of a written idea and title. Maintaining the existence of local culture of the archipelago amid the current of globalization through the preservation of the Dayak Sintang Gadget tradition. Method. The method as in this research is a qualitative method with a form of case study research. Case study are one of the research method of the social science. Bogdan and Becklin said, a case study is a detailed examination of one setting or one single subject or one single depository of document or the particular event. Furthermore, Bogdan and Becklin describe the general design of a case study as follows. 1. Researcher look for place and people to be as subject or data source. 2. Find the desired location to be studied and then try to consider the feasibility of the place or data source to achieve its destination. 3. Looking for the key to how it can go and what it should do. 4. Start collecting data, reviewing, and exploring it. 5. make a decision about the direction to go with his research. 6. Make decision about how to manage time, who will be interviewed, and what will be dug depth. 7. Modify the design continuously and choose producers that are more in accordance with the topic of kind. 8. Make decision regarding what aspect among and setting, subject or data set to be studied. And 9. Develop focus. The case study method of the data collection process and research activity will narrow down the region, subject, material, topic, and themes. From the beginning of the existence search, researchers move toward more target data collection and analysis. In this study, the case study was the maintain the existence of the local culture of the archipelago amid the current of globalization through the preservation of the Dayak Sintang gadget tradition. Result and discussion. From the research conducted to maintain the existence of the local culture of the archipelago amid the current of globalization through the preservation of the Dayak Sintang gadget tradition, it can be found some of the following. In the current adult era, the influence of globalization has spread into our country, namely the country of Indonesia. The influx of globalization can bring a positive and negative influence. As we already know, this era of globalization, there is freedom of relation between nations, so as to bring forward culture that can slowly shift the local culture owned by the people of Indonesia. It is very concerning that the younger generation began to follow the current thing that divide from the character and more civilized nature of Indonesia's society. The impact of globalization will be culture change that occur in tradition society, namely the change from a closed society to a more open society. From homogeneous value, the pluralism of social value and norm. Science and technology have fundamentally changed the world. International communication and means of transportation have removed the cultural boundaries of a very nation. The culture of each nation tend to lead to globalization and become a world civilization so that it involves human as a whole. Then, the rapid flow of information and communication create a tendency that fades the original culture. At first, in transportation, telecommunication, and technology can reduce the spirit to preserve local culture that has the value of wisdom as the ancestral heritage of the Indonesian nation. Local culture usually grow and develop within a particular tribal community or region because of it is preserved hereditary heritage. In line with this opinion, Yudhishthira states that local culture is complementary to region culture, and region culture is an essential part in the form of national culture. In the indigenous Dayak people of Sintang Regency, there is a tradition that has begun to shift its implementation has as an central culture from traditional to modern as a result of the influx of globalization influence such as the implementation of the Dayak gadget. Whereas we know that in the implementation of the Dayak gadget, there are positive value that can build the character of the nation, such as the value of gratitude to good family, gotong royong, social value, and other. The following is an overview of the implementation of tradition in the Dayak Sintang gadget. There have been many solutions that have been done by the government in preserving local culture and introduction it to local and foreign tourists who visit to get to know our vacation in Indonesia. One of the solutions that the government has done is when the Minister of Culture launched a program called Visit Indonesia Year 2008, which aimed to prove tourists especially culture. The especially culture diversity in Indonesia with is famously very unique. This program, in addition to being addressed to foreign party, is also addressed to domestic parties so that Indonesian people pay more attention and preserve the culture that has been inherited by our character from ancient time in order to stay awake. In addition, if we are able to maintain cultural diversity, we will show the identity of the nation and state to the world so that the culture that clearly belong to us is not easily recognized by other countries. Conclusion: Indonesia has a variety of culture spread from Sabang to Merauke. Therefore, we as citizens, especially the younger generation, should preserve and maintain local culture in the Indonesian archipelago, especially local culture such as Dayak tradition in Dayak gadget activity. Indonesia culture is the identity owned by Indonesia that distinguishes the country of Indonesia from other countries and makes a distinctive future that is only owned by Indonesia in this day and age. The current of globalization has spread into Indonesia. This is varied to be able to save and rewind the local culture of the archipelago. For that, we as young people of the nation shall be able to preserve our culture and be able to make something that can maintain the integrity of the culture in Indonesia, that the existence of the value of local culture wisdom of the archipelago amid the current of globalization through the preservation of the tradition of Gawai Dayak Sintang will depend heavily on the effort of the three parties, namely the government, school, and the community, if their relate component synergy with earth other in maintaining culture, then the influx of globalization flow is not there to Indonesia culture. Thank you. Bye bye.